Freaking A, it's JFM here to give you another video. Finally. Another Let's Look At Jeff and Deborah episode, blah blah blah. This time, it's episode 8. I know, episode 8 came out several months ago, and this is long overdue. Thank you, Brazen Blaze, for reminding me about this video. I mean, come on. I after working on episode 8 for months, last year, I'm like, oh god, I just want to forget about it. It's over. Just like episode 9. I'm currently done with I'm now done with episode 9, so that's kaput. I don't have to worry about it anymore. The reason why it was so slow is because I didn't want to do the whole traditional digital hybrid thing. It's now all digital with the Jeff and Ted episodes. So yeah, I'll explain more in my podcast in the other channel, which should be up on Saturday. So yeah, before we start, I want to show you some things that I got. Well, apparently my brother-in-law's brother is moving out, so he gave us some stuff, and I picked these out. Okay, I got. All right. And here's something funny that I like to do with the Harry Potter things. I like to switch up the two words, so it sounds funny. Okay, for example, I got Harry Potter and the Stone Sorcerer, Harry Potter and the Secret of Chambers, Harry Potter and the Azkaban's Prisoner, Harry Potter and the Fire of Goblet, Harry Potter and the Hallows Deathly, Part 2, but no Part 1. Oh, Final Fantasy Advent Children. Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children. So, yeah, I saw this movie once with Jade, so it was nice. Now I have the copy. I haven't seen this movie before, Coraline, but I always wanted to. So now I get to this Sunday, because Sunday is movie night. Yeah. Okay. And this is a guilty pleasure of mine. You know, I like to pride myself. I pride myself in having good taste of music, but this is a guilty pleasure. Backstreet Boys, Millennium. My favorite song from them, Larger Than Life. And I Want It That Way. That's a good song. Just those two that I like from the Backstreet Boys, that's it. Oh, and Backstreet's Back. Alright. No, those. But that's a guilty pleasure thing. Okay, now on to the main event, what you guys want to see. Episode 8, let's look at. I'm going to show you the raw pages and all that, and I'm going to explain to you the original ending. That's right, the original ending on how things were supposed to be. I didn't draw it up, but I still have the original script, so hopefully that would do. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay. Oh god, no. This is the original cover page that I drew. You can see it's all empty, and the line work is not so great, because this was made back in, 2010? Early 2010. Yeah, you can tell I got much better. And with the current, with the official cover art, oh my gosh, this pales in comparison. This is like if me as a teenager drew it. This is some weird stuff this is some weird notes. List of 2011 projects. These are drawings that I was supposed to do. Oh yeah, episode 9, 10, and 11 in 2011. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. These are just posters and animations, which I never got to. This has nothing to do with episode 10. Actually, a little treat. This has to do with episode 12. Yeah, this is a spyware virus. Spyware puppet. This is letter A. Letter A. There's 26 different spyware viruses, puppets that the bad guy made. So this is letter A. No. Okay, so this is the original script, episode 8, Nightmare Camping Trip. And look at that, I actually typed the whole thing. Through, but I'll save it up here, so I'll get to read the end. This is junk, because I gave up on the whole thumbnail thing, so. Blank pages. Okay, here's the first page, pretty straightforward. pretty nice paper too. I remember this paper. It was nice and thick, so I loved working on it. Yeah, this is the first time. Well, not the first time. Well, I mean, just like episode 7, I used the digital panels that I constructed in InDesign, so I did that. And who could forget the little doodles I draw? This is Ashley, and she's like saying pink because there's some mysterious pink markings here. So Ashley does not want pink markings on the paper, but lo and behold, she herself is a mark on this page. So yep, that Ashley. I was quite proud of myself with inking these pages because I went all out. You know, I stepped up my game, made a lot of detail. This is the first time I made a little whole forest animation thing. Ash looked, well, not Ash, but Zach looks so weird here. Oh, and with the fire, I actually made this blank because I wanted the fire to have no outline because it's fire, you know. And yeah, for fun, I drew a little weed leaf. I don't smoke marijuana or anything like that. Believe me, but I don't care if anyone does. So just don't care. Y'all know that. Well, sometimes what I would do is, since this is a digital panel, it's stuck here. But if I want to hand draw, or if I want to overlap something, I just erase this in post. Yeah, when it's in Photoshop. This is a very nice panel down here. I mean, it's so dark, but it's very nice. So detailed. The lines just make everything pop. The candles, and you can see every skull. Since my characters' faces are different, kind of, you can see the skulls are different too. You can tell it's a human skull, but at the same time, it's a Tsuneme skull. Because here's a long face, here's a normal face, here's a character with squished eyes and a squished nose. This is how their skull looks like. So yeah, I step up my game. It'll be weird if every skull looked the same. What is this? This is some woman. I think she's supposed to be Ada Wong from Resident Evil. Maybe. I don't know. She looks weird. She's pointing at Marquise, who's yelling like a girl. That face. I hate that face. Zach's face. God, he looks so weird here. He looked two times in this comic so far that he looks weird. This page, I really rushed through it. I really rushed through it because the original page got ruined by my niece, kind of. So I had to throw that away and rush through another one because, you know, when you have to remake something, basically most of the time, the first time is the best. And when you're doing a second chance at the page or whatever it is, it's low on quality, especially if you're drawing on crappy paper like this. Now the paper starts to get crappy, and the borders get thicker and everything. Everything, you know, it's like I really liked these panels where the boys are running. Sometimes what I would like to do is I like to add some things in the background. Like, I don't think you could see it in the finished version because the words are in the way, but I added a mean face on this tree, and I added a sad face on this tree. Oh, and I added mysterious eyes, like a person's in that tree, you know, looking. It might be some, but you never know. It might be some creeper. Some creep. Oh, I'm just talking nonsense now. Oh yeah, it's midnight now. And there's the dumb raccoon. The dumb raccoon? I don't know. Best friend of Crazy Cat, the dumb raccoon. Here, I didn't do a good job on Sabretooth's face, but yeah, he looks much better here. You know, cancels that one out. Ignore this. This doesn't exist. This does. Yeah. Everything is looking ship-shape. I remember one of the fans said that this panel was funny, you know, because Jerry's just standing there like a statue, and yeah, it is funny. Especially when he says, "If Sabretooth comes to get me, I shall embrace my fate." And when when Sabretooth does get him, he's like, oh, yelling, "Some brave man you are, Jared." You know what? I wanted to point this out, but all the boys here, except for Taylor, is based on somebody. Yeah, like Marquise is based on a friend I had back in 7th grade. Zach, 7th grade. Anthony, a good acquaintance of mine, all through 6th grade all the way to high school. Jared, another friend of mine that I knew from high school. Even Mr. Turner, based on my 6th grade teacher. But Sabretooth is Taylor and Sabretooth are the only boys that are not based on somebody. I mean, you could say Jeff is based on me, but I really hate to compare myself with Jeff. We're two different people, believe me. Yeah, let's get to here's one of them pages again, with the mean face on that pine tree back there. And because I didn't want to ink the whole thing, I added a speech bubble here, because, screw this. I don't want to do that. Yeah, drawing in speech bubbles are make really nifty shortcuts if you don't want to draw or ink all that detail. So yeah, he looks like the Oogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas, a little bit. This is a very funny scene where Anthony goes crazy, and then the raccoon just stares at him and bites him. Ha! Yeah, that I don't know why I add these little ha's. It happened once when I wrote that dumb bird actually it happened in episode 2 with that bear. That stuffed bear, that evil stuffed bear, he was like, ha, when he was about to crash into the burning car, thus making the go-kart and him blow up. It's like a kamikaze stuffed bear. I like to add some things, so like I said, like here's a famous cameo by Slender Man, right here in the corner. He's just chilling, he's not going to attack Jeff and Taylor, he's just visiting Somerville for a little while Taylor and Jeff are arguing. Yeah, but here comes a greater threat, Sabretooth. And here's the first page. What the heck? This is out of order. Oh my god, it's out of order. Oh, well, I'd like to point out that this took a very long time to ink. This little establishment shot of Somerville Woods, which is untouched, all nature. It's all north of downtown Somerville, very north. So yeah, any further, you'll cross the border into a different state. Sabretooth, I like this angle. It's I learned it from Stan Lee in one of his videos that in comics, when you draw panels, it's best to have some sort of dynamic angle like that. Especially here. I learned this from a Marvel comic. When superheroes are like, what shall we do? They're not standing still. They're actually like that, all angled and shite. What is this? What is this? What is this? It's a Koops from the Paper Mario series to UK to New York. So I guess he's sailing to New York. He's sailing the Atlantic. Yeah. I think I changed Jeff's face here. I don't know, but he looks freaky here. Even Sabretooth looks freaky here. He looks like a frog. He's a frog man. That's nice. And here's another good angle, like I said. The finished version looks so much better. And of course, with my stop sign gags that I do, this whole thing is all blank. I added the stop sign digitally. I want to use a real stop sign. I don't want to draw one, because Which reminds me, the other day I wanted to another weird sketch. I guess this is supposed to be Juliet Starling or something like. from a lollipop chainsaw. I don't know. But anyway, I was about to say about the stop sign in my driveway or something like that. I went up to clean snow off of it, so I got in my car and I walked up to it. Boy, it was huge. That stop sign is so much bigger when you stand next to it. And I'm like, what the heck? It looks scary. It looked even scarier when you're out, out there at night. So yeah, a lot of things look scary at night. But yeah, like I said, I added in the stop sign digitally, so I just didn't bother with the detail on that. And yeah, we're almost at the end of episode 8, which reveals the twist ending. Sabretooth can talk, but he is best friends with Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner. Oh my gosh. What a twist. I actually went out of my comfort zone with the facial expressions here, with the bulging of the pupils and everything. I was originally going to add the little raccoon here, and I'm like, screw it, I don't want to draw that little bastard anymore. So, yeah. And I guess the last page is this. Well, paperwork. Important paperwork for the government. And here are the little things I didn't do. Whatever. So, the original ending to this. If you've read the episode, you know that Sabretooth is actually some sort of an experiment that ran away to the woods and lived there, made friends with Mr. Turner and all that. So I thought that was a good ending, a good twist ending, a happy twist ending. But this wasn't the case in the original. So everything was fine. Everything was pretty much the same. It was until Sabretooth pretty much clocked Jeff and Taylor's heads together. From there, the boys blacked out and woke up in a cave. And I'm going to read you the script, I guess. I don't know. You could just imagine things, but I'm just going to go through it. So Jeff and Taylor wake up in the cave, all tied up on chairs. No less. Just regular kitchen chairs. All tied up in the cave, and then Zach is like, "Hey, wake up, dudes!" Jeff is like, "Guys, you're alive and safe." And then Taylor's like, "Yes, I knew you were." Then Mr. Turner comes out of nowhere. Not quite. The beast tied us up in these chairs for some reason. "Mr. Turner, you're alive too?" "Of course I am. I have survival instincts, remember?" Then Jerry butts in. "Then why'd you get caught?" Mr. Turner is like, "Because I was off guard. You can't expect me to take on a 7-foot monster while doing my business in the woods." Marquise is like, "With toilet paper. We saw you had that in your tent." Anthony, yeah, what's up with that?" "Look, let's just find a way out of here. The beast tied our arms and torso, but not our legs, so let's run with the chairs." Then Zach's like, "Hate to say it, but I agree with Mr. T. You don't want to end up like them." And then a panel to the skulls with the candles. Then Jared is like, "Gulp, I concur. Let's get it moving." Then Taylor's like, "Wait, what about Sabretooth?" We don't know where it is, so we have to hurry." So they sneak in slowly with the chairs still tied up on them, I guess. And then Jerry's like, "Hey, so the legend is true. Who'd have thunk it? I bet that Sabretooth is a big..." And then he sees Sabretooth sharpening a knife. Then Mr. Turner's like, "Shh." And then they all escape the cave, and then they're almost out. Then the boys kept talking about, arguing about the thing. Then Mr. Turner, with his signature, "Be quiet," just yells. Because that's what the real Mr. Turner did. When we were talking, he would just yell, "Be quiet," like that. It was so funny. But yeah, that caught the Sabretooth's attention, and then he chases the boys. Then Jeff runs the fastest, and then he gets knocked off by the stop sign. Then Mr. Turner's like, "What are you doing? Keep running." Then they all run. Jeff and Taylor are like still standing there, I guess. So, and then the whole trick with the stop sign thing. And then, and then, Sabretooth hits his head on the stop sign, which makes him unconscious. And then Jeff and Taylor escape. And so the boys are out of the woods on the highway, and then they sleep on the highway with the chairs still tied up to them and all that. They're still tied up to the chairs. Then the policeman comes. Jones, you know, the policeman that never shows his eyes with the butt chin, that guy. He's like, hey, what are you boys doing in the middle of the road? You're interfering with traffic. Then Mr. Turner's like, please, officer, there was a big hairy monster in the woods and it almost ate us alive. And then Jones is like, is this true? Could he be lying in order to take advantage of me? It's the truth, man. Please untie us, officer. We promise Mr. Turner will pay for gas. What? Then the officer's like, okay. And then this didn't have the moral thing, but at the very end, Sabretooth thinks to himself, I'm gonna tear apart my victims on the spot next time. That's the end. So yeah, not much of a twist. I changed the ending because it was just all that tension, all that build-up with the characters getting caught. You wonder why, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's why I changed it, because I prefer my twist endings. No matter how big or small my twist endings are, I rather have them. How long is this going? 21 minutes. I may have to speed up some parts. I may have to, sorry. But usually I like to aim for about 19 to 20 minutes. 21 minutes is too long. Too long for these kind of videos. Of course, if I didn't talk about that stop sign on my road, then it would have been shorter. Ah well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget the podcast this Saturday on Jeff and Taylor Comic. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, go do so, because that is the channel that I'm mostly in. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I want to say to you a goodbye. 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 Good.